On this week's show, is there going to be a major market crash?
In the news, why are the government letting off rogue landlords?
And we're going to be answering all your property-related questions. Welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Enjoy this week's show and don't forget to share it with all your friends. Hi, I'm Russell Leeds.
I'm Alistair Cunningham.
And welcome to this week's Property Investors Podcast. Interesting week this week. We're going to be talking about the crash. And the reason that we're going to be talking about that is because we had dinner a few days ago with Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, we did.
We were running an event. Samuel Leeds, Limited Property Investor with Samuel Leeds and Success Resources. We're doing a sort of a joint event together.
Yep.
Samuel interviewed him on stage. We had dinner with him. And one of the things that was interesting. Well, first of all, did you enjoy the evening before we go?
It was interesting. He's one of these characters that everyone knows who Robert Kiyosaki is. If you're in property, you know who Robert Kiyosaki is. He's author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's a very profound sort of investor. He knows what he's talking about. He's been around. I think he's in his late 70s or something. Mid
72.
72. Okay. And he's like a big towering guy, isn't he? He's a big old boy, and he's big, like really tall. He's got a presence about him.
Yeah. He's definitely got a presence about him.
Yeah.
You know when he walks in the room.
Yeah.
I was speaking with some of the other speakers, and then they were saying that, you know, backstage all the speakers will hang out and stuff, and he just sits there.
Oh, was he a bit miserable?
I don't know if he's miserable, but I just think he's very intense, isn't he? He's very.
Yeah. Well, he's been in the game a long time, and he's seen a lot of people come and go.
I mean, he has written Rich Dad Poor Dad, the #1 personal development book.
Full stop.
Ever.
Yeah.
It's sold more copies, been around for 20 years, still a massive hit today.
Still sells many every day, doesn't
so
it?
He's a legend, really.
But he's got some very good insights to what's going on in the world.
Yeah, so during the interview with Samuel was pressing him on investments and stuff like that. And one of the things that he said that I thought, would be interesting for us to talk about on this show was that he predicts, in fact, quite a lot of what he was talking about was he predicts a major market crash very soon. Now, he has been saying this, in all fairness, for a few years.
Well, he said it last year in South Africa when I attended his event in South Africa, saying the same thing. So obviously, I think it's coming. I don't think it's going to be the Armageddon that he sort of is letting on.
Well, the truth is that we do get crashes. It's recession, expansion. We've seen that throughout. So to say there's not going to be a market crash would be naive, especially considering everything that we've got going on at the moment with Brexit. I know you love Brexit.
I just found it interesting that when he was speaking, he literally the way he was talking was like the world will end. It is like Armageddon is coming. That's how it was coming across.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's a lot of people left that dinner like thinking, oh my God, we're doomed. Like, what the heck are we going to do? That's what it was like.
But one of the things he was saying that was interesting though is if you know correctly how to invest, and if you're not stupid with you, because he was also talking about money becoming kind of worthless, and you should be just leaving it in the bank.
Yeah,
and we all know, you have £50,000 in the bank. How much is it going to be worth in
10 years?
10 years?
Yeah, less.
Precisely less, yeah.
Well, it is. It's not too bad.
It is, but quite a bit less. And he was talking a lot about that, and he thinks that money, the way everything's going, digital, everything. He thinks that physical cash, the pound sterling is going to be shrinking, and that you should be investing in.
All you've got to do is look at it. We're becoming a cashless society, aren't we?
Like, I never carry cash.
You don't carry cash. I do know you don't carry cash because whenever we go out for a drink or a meal, you're like.
Can I tell them a funny story about you carrying cash that we were talking about yesterday? Right, so this guy came up to we're in London, and this guy came up to us. I'm assuming a homeless guy, and he was like, "I'm really poorly. I need £20 to get to hospital. Do you have any cash?" And he asked me and Samuel. Alistair was a little bit away, and I was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry," because if I do have cash, I do tend to give in those sort of situations. Yeah. I was like, "I'm really sorry. I don't have any cash." And he was like, "Oh, please." And we felt sorry for the guy. So Samuel was like, "Hey, has anyone got any cash for this guy?" sort of announced to everyone. There was a group of people there, and Alistair was like, yeah, I have. Right, and we were trying to organise a taxi and stuff. He comes over, reaches his pocket, pulls out $3,000. Right, it was like a wedge of cash this big. Takes a 20 off, doesn't even look at the guy, he just hands him the 20. The guy's like, oh, thank you. He's like, yeah, whatever. He's like, taxi.
Right, hold on. I got to redeem myself here. Because in fairness, that's not exactly how it went down. Right, I'll tell you what happened. Right, there was a homeless guy, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember seeing him.
See, he wasn't even looking. He was just like, 20 quid. Yeah, here you go. Take it.
No. Okay, so what happened was, I was trying to sort a cab out, and Samuel just said to me, Alistair, have you got 20 quid? So I didn't know it was for a homeless guy. And I literally did. I went into my pocket, I pulled some money out, took 20 quid off, and I just handed it out, thinking I was handing it to Samuel. And then I saw the homeless guy. Okay, you guys thought I was a little bit harsh, and the guy was like trying to thank me, and I just wasn't paying attention. So, Mr. Homeless Man, I love you. I hope you're well. I hope you didn't spend that £20 on drugs and booze.
What was funny about it though? What was funny is that like most people would either just be like, no, I haven't got any money, or they'd go, here you go, and then they would want the appreciation because, you know, they would feel like that they'd given it out of heart. You didn't do either. Now I know why now, because you thought you were giving it to Samuel, but you were just like, yeah, here you go, 20 quid, whatever. It was just I thought it was.
It's because I'm a giver. I like to give. So does that mean you're a receiver? You like to receive the praise?
Anyway, so where were we? Oh yeah, cash becoming worthless. So you could do that in a few years because it wouldn't be worth anything. But major market crash. What Robert was saying was, in a crash, that's when you can actually make. You can make money. You can make money both times. You can make money in a crash. You can also make money when it's rising.
But what Robert promotes is cash being worth it. He talks about fake money, or like fake teachers. I.e., referring to like school teachers because they're not teaching you the correct ways of the world. He talks a lot about fake stuff, and he says about cash. Instead of having cash in bank, you should have it in assets. Good debt, bad debt, all that sort of stuff. But he buys a lot of property, but he also buys a lot of like gold and silver.
I always think with property, as long as you're happy to hold on to it,
yep,
you're kind of pretty safe.
I think I agree with you because you only ever really lose on property when you sell it. So if it's gone down, and it's like anything, stocks, shares, property, anything. If you buy it for £100,000 and hold on to it, and then it drops to £80,000, that only becomes a problem
if you're selling it.
If you're selling it, if you're going to hold it because you've got good tenants paying cash every month, paying you cash flow, is it a massive deal? But it all depends on your strategy. If you, for instance, if like the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy might be a bit dangerous.
But it wouldn't be dangerous. Even that wouldn't be dangerous if you were prepared to hold on to the property.
Yeah, but buy, refurbish, refinance, or buy, refurbish, and flip. So yeah, actually, buy, refurbish, flip would be a little bit dangerous. Buy, refurbish, refinance would be okay.
Yeah, because you might not be able to refinance. It might just be a case of buy, refurbish.
It might be a case of
and then refinance.
It's not getting valued at the right amount. Yeah.
5 years down the line.
Yeah.
So you're right. You lose the money when you sell.
Yeah.
So as long as you make sure that you're leaving yourself, you're not overstretching. You're not, because we talk about leverage a lot, and leverage is brilliant, but you don't want to over leverage.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because if you over leverage and then there's a crash, you are screwed.
You're in the mud.
And a lot of the big companies that we see that go down because they over leverage.
Yeah.
Things go wrong and they can't
sustain
afford
it
to pay their debts.
It's like companies that are just like new startup businesses, things like that, where they just they spend too much money. They're literally overspending everything, so they make a bit of money, they spend it, make a bit of money, spend it.
Yeah.
And then they've got nothing left in the pot. And then when that rainy day happens, they've not got an umbrella.
Yeah. So there might be a crash, but here's the thing. All right. Here's two things. History shows us: A, there's going to be crashes. Mm-hmm. B, after we crash, we're going to expand again.
Absolutely.
So even if there's a bad crash, it will go up. And property prices, it's always going up. Where money is always going down.
Yeah. And the thing is, do you think, forget about the markets for a minute, whether they go up or whether they go down. I think that's irrelevant, because if you have the correct education, you will make money no matter what's happening.
Yeah.
There was more millionaires made during the 2008 property crash than ever before, because they know what they're doing. And the market crash, sorry, not the property crash, the market crash, there was more people made more money than, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people lost money, of course, but there was more millionaires made in that period of time just because they know what they're doing. So when you know what you're actually doing, you can make money when the markets are crashing. You just got to know what you're doing. So again, that comes down to education.
What would you say? What would you say then was your biggest takeaway from meeting Robert? You know, we had a chat with him. What would you say was your biggest takeaway?
Samuel asked him a question. If he was to start again with $100,000 or pounds, what would he do with that? Now, he was very, I would say he's a little bit vague in the answer. He basically said, I wouldn't need £100,000 because I wouldn't use. He's an advocate of not using his own money. He's very proud of the fact that in all of his property investments, none of his money is in that properties or on the properties. So basically, his advice was just do what you want. Do what needs to be done. So if there's a need for something, fill that need. So it's not a case of doing what you love doing. It's a case of doing what you see needs to be done and adding value to it. So yeah, that's
that was your biggest takeaway.
I mean, there was other stuff, but
that's fine if it was. But so your biggest takeaway is just do what needs to be done.
I do like that saying, actually, because too many people focus on, when they're starting a business, focus on what they really like what they want to do, which is fine, but that might not necessarily make the best business. If you're looking to make a business that grows into a very successful business, you've got to fill a void, haven't you? You've got to fill a need in the market. There's got to be demand. So if you can find that and fill that, then I think you're going to be very.
I very much believe the more money is a certificate of value.
Yep.
So the more value that you add, the more money that you'll make. So rather than what I think kind of what he's saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong, with what I take from it is, rather than necessarily thinking what can I do to make money, how can I make money, how can I add value, and as a result I think
people, when they first start out in business, they're so focused on making the money. They're so focused on, like, I need to make money as quick as possible. I don't think that's, for a long-term sustainable business, I think you don't do that. I think personally you should focus on filling that void and adding value to people. Because when you add value to people and you give a service or a product or something that gives other people what they want, ultimately you're going to get paid. But I think a lot of people, and where a lot of people go wrong with new businesses, is they're so focused on earning that money to pay them the bills each month, that they don't necessarily do the right business.
I think when you look desperate you're trying to pull in money, I think people smell it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whereas when they feel that you're being genuine and you're looking to add the value, then they're more happy to buy.
And you get more. You make more money in the end, because when you add an immense value to somebody, the price tag doesn't come into it as much, does it?
No.
If you're adding immense value to somebody, and you're helping them achieve what they want to achieve, you're helping them get what they want, then the price tag can be whatever you choose to put on it.
Well, one of the things I teach at Winner Sales Intensive is it's never price. It's always value.
Yeah.
Because if I turn around to you, let's say you told me you couldn't afford £10,000.
Yeah.
But I turned around to you and said, you're gonna die if you don't go on. You'd suddenly be able to find the £10,000, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
because the value is worth more than the £10,000.
I actually liked your winner. I liked your Winner Sales Intensive day. I think it's a very good day. So yeah, kudos.
2 days.
Yeah, I only came on one day because I was busy. But the one day I came, it was very good.
He wasn't a delegate. He just popped in.
I just come in to see.
But you know it
assist.
all. You know it all.
I know it all anyway. But no, that sounds really bad. I don't know it all. I'm not a know-it-all. But I know all your course that you run.
You know
and
it's
it's a very, very good course. So listen, anyone thinking about that, you need to get in touch, man, because it's.
No, I don't want to use this chance to sell that. But
no, I'm not saying that. But it's not.
But it's all about value.
Sales is not about quick how to earn a couple of quid. It's not about that. You have to add value to everybody. Yeah. I say this even with like my business, but Better Source, with finding investors, like for the deals that we have. I get so many messages regular, and it's people saying, "Oh, how do you find investors? How do you find investors?" And I'm like, "Great. Well, what value are you adding to your investors? So why would they come to you? You have to if you want to find investors, you have to add value to them. Like, so I have a whole thing I go through, and it's all about adding value to them before asking for money off them, because they need to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah.
And they're not going to know, like, and trust you if the first thing you do is say, yeah, that's £200. Or you need to build trust. You need to build a knowing, and you need them to like you.
Yeah.
So I think that's crucial. You must add value before you sell to anybody.
So you find the need, focus on the need.
Fill that void, focus on it, add value to their lives, the money will come.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I took away from Robert, from his talk.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's obviously a very successful man. He's obviously very wealthy. So yeah.
What do you want to say? My biggest takeaway.
Yes, please.
I mean, again, it's stuff that sometimes you already know, but it just gets reinforced like that. You already know that, but it's just not. It's nice to have it reinforced, isn't
absolutely.
it? And you go, yeah, and sometimes it gives you a fresh perspective of it. I would say the biggest standout thing for me seeing him there was the fact that he totally surrounds himself with mentor. Even though he could think, I'm Robert Kiyosaki. I don't need a mentor. I am the ultimate.
Yeah.
But he didn't even really say it. I just noticed by hanging around with him. Yeah. He's got his tax advisor with him. He's got his mentor. And he continually just surrounds himself with people that help him.
Yep.
And it's the thing of, however good you are, don't be too proud to have a mentor, to ask for help, to get the right people in. And it's sort of made me think maybe I need to do that more. I mean, I know I do have, obviously we're in an environment, we've got great people around us, but maybe I need to do that even more.
Well, we've talked about this before, haven't we? It's like just surrounding yourself with the right people. You surround yourself with 5 douchebags, then you're going to be the 6. You surround yourself with 5 successful people, you're going to be the 6. It's all about, and like even Robert Kiyosaki does this, and he is super, super successful. Yeah, and it's great.
But it's not just his friends; he hires people in as well all the time for every area. He's got this guy, that guy, the other guy. He doesn't think, well, I know, I'm the genius here.
No,
you know what I mean.
The day you say you're the genius, that you know it all, is the day I think you start going downhill, because nobody knows it all. And Robert Kiyosaki even admits he doesn't know it all, and that's why he brings in mentors and brings in people to help him that know better, like tax. That's why he has that tax guy. Yeah. Because he doesn't know the full legalities of tax.
No, it's very, very true.
It was very interesting. I enjoyed it. I know Samuel enjoyed the interviewing him.
Yeah. So it was very, very interesting. And like, someone like that, you're always gonna learn stuff from. And I know he's a big advocate for investing in property. Yep. And I do think property, it's not crash proof because it does get affected by the crash. But like you said, it's about when you sell. Mm-hmm. And if you make sure you're not vulnerable and you sell on your terms, then I think you're going to be okay. I think
couple of key things to take away from the whole thing is, yes, there may well be a market.
Also, guys, what a great time to buy property.
Yes. Especially with Brexit looming.
In the crash.
Because because everyone's thinking, and everyone's scared because the media are talking about it.
So it's already dipping, but in a crash, that's when you buy, because that's when the prices are low.
What's the saying? What's that saying? When everyone's when everyone's greedy, you should be...
It's not saying, it's just something Samuel said. Okay. So yeah, when everyone's scared... Yeah. That's your... Oh no, it might not be Samuel.
No, it's not Samuel. I've heard this.
When everyone's scared, that's when you want to be greedy. Yeah. And when everyone's greedy, that's when you want to be scared.
Yeah. So like, if it's in the news, it's already... that's brilliant. I love the fact that it's in the news, because it means there's lots of landlords out there and lots of people out there that are
if there is offloading. If there is a crash and everyone's selling, then that's the time maybe you should be buying. Yeah. Right, it's now time for this. Okay, so in the news this week, Alistair has found an interesting article.
I think it's interesting. So let me just tell you the headline. It's in the Guardian. So basically, no rogue landlords have been issued with banning orders in the last 12 months, which I found quite shocking.
Well, what I think is interesting about this is they've brought in all these changes in legislation and all this new licensing and all this sort of stuff, and then they've don't use it.
Okay, so let me just read the first couple of paragraphs. So, not a single rogue landlord has been issued with one of the government's new banning orders, a year after the key new power in the battle to root out the country's worst rental property owners was launched. New laws, which took effect in April 2018, means that slum landlords handed one of the new bans by the courts are prevented from letting out houses across England. Their details must be entered onto the central government's new rogue landlord database for local authorities.
You wouldn't want to be on that list, would you?
No, that's like...
You're officially a rogue landlord.
So I just don't see the point. Why bring the law out if they're not going to enforce it?
Although, in all fairness...
When you consider...
Do you know I say you wouldn't want to be on it?
Yeah.
If you were the only person on it in the UK...
That's even worse.
That would be quite cool, wouldn't it? Do you know the UK? 70 million people. I don't even know how many landlords, but loads of landlords. I'm the only rogue landlord.
Well, look, the government have estimated that there's 10,500 rogue landlords operating in England, and previously said when they announced the law that they would be expecting at least 600 of them to be on that database, and in 12 months' time, not one person's on that database. They've had four complaints.
What's the point in?
What is the point? Do you know? I reckon it's just job creation. It's just creating jobs for people, isn't it? So if they're not going to enforce it, why bring it out? It's pathetic. Because all we ever hear about in the media and all sorts is rogue landlords, slum landlords. But if they've got an order, they've got a banning order, but they're not using it. So what is the point in even making these laws up? I think it's pretty criminal, to be honest. Like why go to the effort and the cost and
they should have a rogue MPs list.
Yes.
For all the MPs that make rules that then are useless.
The thing is,
put them on the list and they're not allowed to make laws anymore. They wouldn't put any of them on there, would they? It would just be another one. I'd just be adding to the problem.
I think this is letting down everybody. This is letting down good landlords. It's letting down tenants. It's letting down responsible people. Because
it's not letting down rogue landlords.
No, it's not letting down them, but it's letting down the good people. Because I'm a good landlord. You're a good landlord. Samuel's a good landlord. Right? We would never be on these lists. But it's really annoying because we're striving to get the industry high and good, and then the government bring this nice plan out, so we're all thinking, great, I don't mind that, we're not scared of change, we're not scared of this sort of stuff. All the rogue landlords who are sort of, they should be worried. Nothing's happening.
If they know there's 10,500 rogue landlords, how do they know that?
They've estimated there's 10,500 rogue
Estimated
landlords.
It by what?
Doesn't say, but I would assume by the amount of complaints they get.
Then why can't, when they get a complaint, why can't they just do something about it?
I don't know. Speak to the council. But I would imagine it's some sort of budget cuts, so they haven't got the staff to follow up. It's like the HMO laws that came in last October 2018. So they brought the new licensing laws out. To roll that out, it's going to take a couple of years. So there's areas in the country where although you have to have a license, nothing's going to happen for years because they haven't got the staffing to do it. They haven't got the budget to do it, to enforce it. So, and I know there's plenty of, I know there's loads of HMO properties out there, 5 people in there over 3 stories, and they've not got a license. So,
yeah, but if we're at a stage where it's like, yeah, we got the laws, but the government and the police, we can't afford to actually enforce the laws. Well, what result is that going to have?
Anarchy. It's going to have anarchy, and that's what's going to happen. Armageddon again.
That's the real crash.
I just think that if you're going to make a rule, if you're going to enforce something, enforce it. If you're going to make a rule, enforce it. If we make rules in the office, what do? Enforce them.
We know, we tell them we've had budget cuts, so we can't enforce them.
Nah. So that if we tell all the staff they've got to be at work on time, they start at 9 o'clock, and they turn in late, what do? We enforce the rules. We say, look, why were you late? We hold them accountable.
Yeah.
If we're late, why are we late? We hold ourselves accountable.
You're right.
Make a rule, stick to it. End of.
You're right. It's terrible. The government. Ugh.
Again, let us down.
Anyway, it's now time for this. Okay, so it's now time for your questions and answers. Have we had any come through?
We've had loads. So, yeah, thanks very much, guys, for asking the questions on the Property Investors with Samuel Leeds page. Look out for this every week. We do a Facebook Live. Get your questions in. So, the first question is from Chris Powell, and it says, hi, can Russell explain how he got started? I've been told to follow how you got started and implement myself if I can.
Okay.
So, it's a question for you, my friend.
I wonder who told him that.
Maybe I recognise the name, so I'm wondering if he's been on. Well, I think Chris is on the Academy, and I think he was at his launchpad.
Okay. Well, I have talked about the first deal that I did before. I didn't have very much money, and I managed to borrow the money for a deposit, and I then put the deposit down, bought the house, and I paid off the loan that I got for the deposit. I paid off over 5 years, and at the same time I was also paying the mortgage off, which meant that I basically broke even. I made a little bit of money, but then by the time you took off a few costs and stuff, I basically broke even for the first 5 years, and it was okay. And then after 5 years, I started making okay cash flow from it. But that was my first property. So that's what I did. Borrowed the money, bought the property, basically bought it for free. Didn't make very much money out of it, but it has gone up about 25 grand.
Yeah,
since then. So I've made money off capital appreciation. Not a massive amount. It's been a slow.
Is this that property that's had the same tenant since the day you bought it?
Tenant, yeah,
and you've never heard from her, really?
No. So that's that. The next deal that I did was a buy, refurbish, refinance deal. So I don't know what I would say. I'm not sure I would. It's not something we really teach, the method that I used to begin.
So
obviously we do buy, refurbish, refinance.
What would you, if you had to give Chris 3 steps to follow in your footsteps, what would they be?
3 steps to following my footsteps as a property investor, or
to get started.
To get started in everything.
Yeah, go on. That's just to.
It's very hard. So I don't know Chris's situation. I mean, that's how I got started. So it depends if he's got money, if he's got cash flow coming in. If I was getting started completely from scratch? So let's say I was doing a financial freedom challenge and you dumped me somewhere. I would probably do deal packaging. As a way of making money. So I'd set up a business. I'd set up a deal packaging business to bring money in, and I would use that money to invest in property. So that's what I would do.
Thing, start a business to make money.
If I was starting again, I'd want to get some cash flow coming in. I enjoy working, so I'm not someone that's desperate to be just like, I just want passive income straight away. Well, sorry, but if you've got no money, you kind of can't just get passive income straight away. It's kind of, unless... Well, even if you do something like a lease option agreement, you've got to work to get that. Yes, it's not just going to happen. It's not just a... So
step 1 would be to create a business, like deal packaging business, to create income. Step 2 would be to use that income to invest.
To invest. And then I would start creating a passive income. And then I've got a choice then. I can either, if you want, you could either quit your deal selling business and just live off your passive income, or what I would do is I would grow the deal selling business, earn more money, invest more money, have a bigger passive income and the money coming in from the deal packaging, and grow it like this.
Yep. I think that's a pretty good answer. So hopefully that helped Chris.
If I was starting up from scratch.
Okay, next question from Tom Clark. Hi guys, keep killing it and doing what you're doing. Oh, thanks man. What is the most effective and reliable way to find direct-to-vendor deals? And I shall see you at the next week's DFE if you're there. Yes, we are going to be. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yep, we're going to be there at DFE next week. I'll be there. Russell will be there.
Direct-to-vendor.
So, direct-to-vender deals.
Basically, for me, I'll give one and then you can give some. For me, places like Gumtree.
Yeah, Gumtree is very good.
Is the best.
I do this lots with Better Source. So Gumtree we use all the time. Facebook. I find lots of deals on Facebook. Just little things like, do you know when you're out and about, talk to people. So I've been in London all weekend, and I was in cabs all the time. I was always talking to taxi drivers and telling them what they do and things like that. So just talk to people. Now I didn't get any deals at the weekend from taxi drivers, but it's very interesting because when you start speaking to people, you realise that you just don't know what they've got and what they are and who they are. You don't know. They might be a landlord that just drives a cab for the weekends. And
you never know.
You just don't know who you're talking to. So speak to as many people as you can.
I was chatting to someone at the weekend. Didn't get a property out of it. Turns out she's like not a major, but a pop star.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
And I was
that lady was sat next to.
I was chatting to her, and then she was like, "Oh," I was like, "What do you do then?" And she said, "I'm a singer-songwriter." I was like, "Okay." I said, "Where can I see your stuff?" She's like, "Spotify."
Yeah.
I was like, looked her up, like 5 million listens and stuff on her songs. I was like, and songwriter, who'd you write? Oh yeah, write songs for people like Bruno Mars. And it's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she was a nice girl, nice lady.
But I'd never have known that without getting, just by looking at her, or even just briefly talking to her.
Yeah.
But like you say, always be networking. You never know
Talk
who people
to everybody. Talk to everybody. People at your local sort of corner shop, your Indians, your takeaways, your Chinese restaurants, any like kebab shop, any of that. Because
that's just an excuse, isn't it? That's clear.
That means you can have an Indian takeaway, Chinese takeaway, kebab, whatever.
Looking at you, I can tell that you're very good at that sort of networking.
Nice, thanks. Fat jokes again. Cool. Right. Anyway, so just chat to everybody, because you don't know what they've got. So Gumtree, Facebook, chat to everybody. Adverts in local papers,
pizza shops, kebab shops, Indian shops, Chinese shops, Italian
I've actually
restaurants.
Lost weight because I can actually get this shirt on and it's loose now. So like less of the fat jokes. Right, okay.
Last one.
Brad.
Brad
Hart. Hey guys, hope you're
Brad
well.
Hart. He sounds like a WWE wrestler.
He does actually, like Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart. So Brad the Hitman Hart. Hey guys, hope you're well. Yeah, we are we are awesome, buddy. Hope you are too. I already have parents that with good. Okay, let's start again. I already have parents with 2 buy-to-let properties. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's the way you read it. It was a fine thing to say, Brad the Hitman Hart. But I already have parents.
Right, I already have parents with 2 buy-to-let properties with another in the pipeline. Awesome. That's good. I want to go down the route of rent-to-rent and lease option agreements. Is it best having a basic contract being already written up and being completed knowledgeably of each aspect on there?
Okay,
or just
different.
The basics?
Okay,
no.
Kind of. Rent-to-rent, yes.
Yeah,
You don't need a solicitor for
rent-to-rent.
You
don't need a solicitor, but it needs to be done properly.
Yeah, you need a
proper
proper contract.
So I would get a solicitor to do it in the first place.
Yeah, or buy one.
And then you can edit that to suit the property.
Yeah.
Lease options, 100% of the times, solicitor.
Yeah.
No, there should be never use a template for a lease option agreement.
I totally agree. There's lots and lots. I mean, we did a show. Sorry to give you extra work, Nick, but Nick's going to put a link up to that now on the screen. We did a show talking a lot about lease options, and we explained why. But lease options, for your benefit, for their benefit, but mainly for your benefit, you need a proper contract. Rent to rent, it's fine as long as you need a proper contract, but you don't need a new one and a solicitor every single time.
No,
agree?
I agree.
Brilliant, guys. Thanks ever so much for watching the show. Really hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next Saturday at 7 p.m. So do not forget to tune in. Please subscribe to the channel. There's content every single day. It's an amazing channel, and we will see you next week.
See you next week, guys.